They were taken as girls, molded into flawless assassins. Seduction is their weapon. Death is their mission. Behind every smile is a spine-snapping kill. But what happens when one of them wants out and dares to feel love again? Subscribe now, before she finds your weak spot. Because watching is free, but surviving her date night isn't. The movie opens with a team of 3 CIA officers monitoring an assassin named Fiona Birch through a live feed as she approaches a high-rise apartment building. Among them is Jack Chen, a junior officer. Fiona is a wanted killer. Deadly, seductive, and precise. She was kidnapped at the age of 12 by a mysterious woman known only as Madame M, who molded her into a lethal weapon trained to lure men in with seduction and strike when their guard is down. As Fiona makes her way into the heavily guarded apartment, Madame sits calmly at a nearby restaurant, giving her instructions through an earpiece. Inside the target suite, Fiona wastes no time. She and the man get intimate. She massages him, but beneath the sensual facade, she's silently feeling for the upper spinal cord. Once she locates it, she snaps it with brutal precision, killing him instantly. Back at the CIA vehicle, tension rises as the agents watch the mission unfold. Just as things heat up, one of the officers sends Jack out to get sandwiches, much to his frustration. Fiona exits the room coolly, but when the man's phone starts ringing unanswered, his bodyguards grow suspicious. They attack, but she handles them with ease, taking out both the guards and the building's security before making her escape. Just as she speeds off in a car, a man fires a rocket launcher, blowing the vehicle apart. The CIA team rushes to the scene to retrieve her from the wreckage, but the same man who fired the rocket guns them down. Jack, returning just in time, shoots the attacker. Just then, Madame pulls up in her limousine and coldly shoots Fiona herself to ensure she doesn't survive. If there's one thing about Madame M, it's that she leaves no loose ends. If a mission goes sideways or the CIA gets too close, she eliminates the assassin in question without hesitation. To her, they're not human, they're tools. In the next scene, Madame M visits an underground fight club, where a young girl named Catherine dominates her opponent with raw talent and fury. Impressed, Madame later lures the hungry child with food and flattery. She praises Catherine's fighting skills and promises to take her to a place where she'll meet others like her. Meanwhile, Jack remains fixated on Madame M's case since after the death of his colleagues, he begins connecting the dots. In total, around 40 girls, each between 12 and 13 years old, have mysteriously vanished across the globe. They come from different backgrounds, but all have one thing in common. They're exceptionally skilled in sports or martial arts. Jack suspects Madame M is behind it all, recruiting replacements for Fiona. Madame M arrives at a secluded island with Catherine and 2 other new girls to join a group already on the island. One of the girls begins to protest, insisting she wants to go home to her mother. Madame calmly tries to convince her that this is her new home now and that she is her mother now, but the girl refuses. Madame M tells her she's free to leave. As she walks away, one of the guards shoots her, serving as a brutal warning to the others. The girls are assembled and given strict instructions. They're told they're 200 miles from the nearest island and under constant surveillance. Any attempt to escape will result in death. That night, one of the new girls introduces herself to Catherine. Her name is Charlene, and the two quickly become friends. Later, another girl rallies the others and suggests escaping when lights go out. They vote by a show of hands. Charlene raises her hand, but Catherine quietly pulls it down, warning her she won't make it. That night, 3 girls escape the camp. The next morning, their training begins in earnest. During the drills, the bodies of the escaped girls wash up on shore. Another harsh message. No one can leave the island. Meanwhile, Catherine and Charlene's bond grows stronger, like sisters. 6 years pass. The training intensifies. It's no longer just about physical endurance. They now learn computer skills, firearms training, seduction techniques, and how to kill efficiently, most notably by locating and detaching the upper spinal cord, paralyzing the victim instantly, and causing death by suffocation. They're taught how to kill without traditional weapons, how to walk with confidence, and how to weaponize their appearance. By now, the girls have fully adjusted to this life. Freedom is no longer a thought. They've accepted their fate. While swimming one evening, Catherine talks about the reality of what they've become. killers. Charlene admits she's not sure she can go through with it, but Catherine reminds her that this is who they are now. They have no choice. Things turn even darker when Madame M releases the girls into the woods and tells them enemy soldiers will attack. It's another drill, or so they think. But the reality sets in when a soldier brutally kills one of the girls. For many of them, it's the first time killing a person. Some handle it easily. Others, like Charlene, are left shaken after being forced to kill. She realizes that to Madame M, they're nothing more than tools. Catherine tries to comfort her, reminding her they've always known what this life was about. One night, Madame M wakes them up with a gunshot. She tells them to kill one of their own and bring the body outside. Charlene protests, calling it insane, but others are quick to act. Chaos erupts as the girls begin killing each other. Later, the survivors line up with the bodies of the girls they've killed. Madame M congratulates them and announces that the next day will be their final test. They will fight to the death, and only one girl will graduate. That night, no one sleeps. Some pray. Some are angry. After all they've endured, it will all come down to one survivor. Charlene tells Catherine not to hold back if they end up fighting. Catherine gently pats her face and tells her to rest instead. The next day, they gather for the final round. Madame M lays out the rules. 2 girls will fight first, and the winner will face 2 girls in the next round. With each victory, the survivor faces more opponents. The tension is suffocating. Some girls begin forming alliances. Others sharpen their blades, ready for blood. Catherine tells Charlene never to forget her if she dies. Charlene promises they'll always remember each other. Suddenly, Charlene kicks Catherine and snatches her number 1, giving up her own in return. Before Catherine can react, Charlene rushes to the ring, determined to be the first to fight. Charlene fights fiercely and kills the first 6 opponents, leaving Madame M deeply impressed. Now, she must face the final 4. Unfortunately, Kat is among them, alongside a brutal, cold-blooded fighter named Jings. Jing is notorious among the girls. Throughout their years on the island, she is kept to herself, never speaking, never smiling. Her presence in the final round sends a wave of fear through Kat. Despite the looming danger, Kat and Charlene agree to fight side by side and protect each other. As the fight begins, one of the other girls tries to ally with Jing, suggesting they form a team. Without hesitation, Jing stabs her dead. It's clear this will be a fight to the death, and it's every girl for herself. Now only 3 remain: Charlene, Kat, and Jing, the strongest fighters on the island. A vicious battle unfolds. Jing, still full of strength and ruthless, finally gains the upper hand and knocks both girls down. She raises her blade to finish Charlene, and Kat pleads with her to spare her. Jing ignores her, about to strike, when Madame M suddenly calls off the fight. She announces she's breaking her own rule. Instead of 1 survivor, she's keeping all 3. That evening, the girls are dressed in elegant gowns, dining with Madame M. Unbeknownst to them, their wine is drugged. As the effects kick in and their bodies weaken, Madame M summons her guards to violate them. Though semi-conscious, the girls are aware but too weak to resist. Madame M coldly tells them this is only the beginning. Their bodies are now their most powerful weapons. They must learn to endure anything a man demands, no matter how vile. From that point on, the 3 girls are deployed on high-profile missions across the world. Soon, a wave of assassinations begins to make global headlines. The victims are wealthy elites, political figures, and criminal kingpins. Meanwhile, the CIA, represented by Jack, is working round the clock to trace the source of these coordinated hits. One day, during a mission in Spain, Charlene's operation goes terribly wrong. The client turns out to be the brother of one of her past victims. While massaging him, the man suddenly pulls a gun. He knows exactly who she is. His guards storm the room and open fire. Charlene reacts fast, managing to kill the client and his men. But as she escapes into the hallway, more attackers close in. Out of bullets and options, Charlene searches for a way out. When Kat suddenly appears, helping her up into a ceiling vent. They crawl into another room but discover it's a dead end. They barricade the door, buying time. Kat quickly finds a solution. She breaks through a wall and urges Charlene to go. Charlene hesitates, not wanting to leave her behind. Kat promises she'll meet her outside. Charlene escapes while Kat hides behind a steel cabinet. As the men burst into the room, Kat fires at a gas pipe, triggering an explosion that wipes them out. Outside, Charlene is ambushed by another guard and knocked down. Just as he raises his gun to finish her, Kat appears and shoots him dead. The two embrace tightly, grateful to be alive. Back in the US, CIA agent Jack is neck-deep in the case. He's been tracking patterns, cross-referencing victims, and logging every detail. At the morgue, the coroner examining Charlene's last kill discovers blood on the victim's body that doesn't match. Jack orders a DNA test, and the results point to Charlene. Staring at her missing person report pinned to his investigation board, Jack wonders what could have become of her and if there's still some humanity left in her. For the past 6 years, Charlene's mother, Mrs. Ching, hasn't stopped praying to see her daughter again. At a temple one day, CIA agent Jack approaches her and shares his latest discovery. While she's always held on to hope that Charlene is alive, this revelation is far from what she imagined. Jack tells her that Charlene may now be an assassin. He believes she's heading to Hong Kong and may try to contact her mother, and hopes she'll cooperate with him. Devastated, Mrs. Ching asks him what makes him think she'd help him arrest her own daughter. The next day, Jack finds Mrs. Ching again at the Hong Kong International Boat Festival. He asks if Charlene has reached out, but she brushes him off. Suddenly, a shot rings out. Charlene has assassinated the Prime Minister. Mrs. Ching, who is standing right beside the victim, turns, and their eyes meet. They're both frozen in shock. As the crowd scatters in panic, Jack sees Charlene following her mother's gaze and immediately gives chase. Charlene runs and climbs into an ice cream truck, and Jack follows. They hold each other at gunpoint. Charlene warns him to back off, but Jack says he's been tracking her for 6 years. He can't stop now. He manages to overpower her and shows her a photo from her childhood, but Charlene coldly denies it's her. As the freezing temperature inside the van begins to affect them, they're forced to keep their differences aside. Jack offers her his jacket. He tries to make small talk, asking Charlene where she's been the past 6 years and what happened to her, but she just stares at him like he's lost his mind, so he lets it go. When the cold becomes unbearable, they're forced to share body heat to survive, and for a moment, the tension eases. Charlene stares into his eyes and tells him he's a good guy, right before knocking him out with her gun. When the van doors open, she disappears. Convinced she'll try to visit her mother, Jack stakes out Mrs. Ching's home. But instead of Charlene, Jing shows up and cuts the power. Thinking it's her daughter, Mrs. Ching approaches excitedly, only to be stabbed. Jack intervenes, leading to a fierce fight. Just as Jing is about to stab him with a shard of glass, Charlene appears and stops her. After a brutal battle, Charlene kills Jing by piercing her body with shards of glass. She rushes to her mother, holding her in her arms as they both cry. Later, Charlene and Jack escort Mrs. Ching to the hospital, but as they approach, Charlene hesitates at the sight of police officers outside. Jack reassures her that he'll take care of her mother. Recalling the last time she said that, she knocked him out, making her smile. He hands her his card and tells her to call him. Now, all Charlene wants is to break free from Madame M and reclaim her life. But Madame M offers her and Kat one final mission in exchange for their freedom. The client, a Yakuza boss named Ryuichi, wants them to eliminate a traitor in his gang named Kenji. His one condition: he wants to watch Kenji die. Later that night, the girls set out confidently on their final mission. But it turns out to be a trap. Ryuichi, seeking revenge for the death of his partner, previously assassinated by one of Madame M's girls, has lured them in. He's already killed Madame M and hung her body up behind a glass. During the ambush, Charlene is struck by a dart laced with a powerful aphrodisiac. Though affected by the drug, she manages to escape. Kat, however, is captured. Meanwhile, Jack is at the hospital when Charlene calls and asks him to meet her at the beach. Overwhelmed by the drug's effects, Charlene throws herself at him. Realizing something is wrong, Jack stops her and submerges her in water to reduce the drug's hold on her. He tries to remind himself of his mission, not to take advantage of a vulnerable girl, no matter how beautiful. But Charlene tells him it's okay. They share a passionate moment. By morning, Charlene is gone. Jack finds a note tucked into his shoe. In it, Charlene writes that she wishes she could be a normal girl with a normal life. She asks him to take care of her mother, and if fate allows, they'll meet again. Charlene returns to rescue Kat, but it's already too late. Kat has been brutally tortured and left hanging. In desperation, Charlene begs Ryuichi to take her life instead, confessing that she was the one who killed his partner. But he ignores her pleas. Through a bulletproof glass, Charlene watches helplessly as Ryuichi executes Kat, leaving her shattered. Enraged and heartbroken, Charlene confronts Ryuichi in a brutal battle. He's just as skilled, and maybe stronger. She's battered, bloodied, and nearly blinded. But in her lowest moment, she quiets the rage and recalls the training Madame once gave her. Regaining focus, Charlene strikes with precision and finally kills Ryuichi using their assassin's signature method. The next day, Jack visits Mrs. Ching at the temple to say goodbye. He's heading back to the States. She tells him religion probably feels meaningless to someone like him, but Jack admits that while he's never had a religion, being at the temple makes him feel peaceful. Mrs. Ching urges him to make a wish anyway. Who knows, it might come true. Inside the temple, Jack prays for the woman he loves to be safe. At that same moment, in another temple elsewhere, Charlene prays too, asking that Kat find joy and happiness wherever she is, and also for the man she loves. Their prayers seem to have been answered. A fortune teller tells Jack that a girl, who received the exact same fortune moments earlier, was also searching for someone, just like he is. From the description, Jack knows it is Charlene. He rushes into the crowd searching for her. From a distance, Charlene watches him with a soft smile, because if she's found him, she knows he's already found her too. If you thought Naked Weapon was wild, wait till you see what's next. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another Femme Fatale flipping necks and breaking hearts.